up, everyone? It is your girl Beauty 87 here, aka Grace, and today it's time for another Do You Really Need? And today's Do You Really Need is with the new Nomad cosmetics palette that they just launched. I don't remember what the name of it is, so yeah, don't quote me, but I'll show you what it looks like. So this is what it looks like right here. And as soon as I saw it, I was just like, it just looks like stuff I already have. So I'm not going to be purchasing it, and I'm trying to show you why you don't need to purchase it. Because if you have any of the palettes I'm about to show you, you don't necessarily need this palette. I'm going to just be 100. So I'm going to start off with palettes from them that I feel like have similar color stories. It's not exact, it's just similar. Focus. Thank you. It's similar, it's not exact, but I feel like it's close enough to where it's like, do you really need it if you already have these? So they're America's Parks palette. Shout out to my girl Dionluvsmakeup. I was talking to her about the new palette, and I was like, I'm wondering, like, based upon those colors, she was like, just based upon the colors they had shown before they had, you know, before she did her video on the palette, that it made her think of America's Parks, and it made me think of America's Parks too. Her video should be live by the time this one goes up though, so if you're interested in seeing how the palette performs on the eyes and how it looks, make sure you go check out Dion's video. And if you still want to purchase it after, we use code Dion in this household, so you go use code Dion to make sure you get a discount on all your Nomad cosmetic purchasing needs. But this is what it looks like on the inside. As you can see, it has those same swirly shimmers in it. It has the greens and it has the neutral tones. It just has a little bit pops of purple and red. So I feel like this could be a good alternative. If you already have it, you don't need to get the new one, because the next one I feel like looks really similar, could have some similar tones in it, would be the Hudson Valley one. I actually really like this one, and I didn't expect to. But as you can see, it has like those cooler neutral tones that they got going on. It has a bright green, but the greens in here don't really correlate with that, and it has a little bit of warmth to it. So I feel like if you covered up like the middle part, the majority of this palette looks similar as well. Because as you can see, it has the neutral tones, it has the greens, it has a little bit of yellow. It just has this pop of red with it, if you will. And there's more greens in that one than in this one, obviously. But again, I feel like it's a good alternative. I feel like the best alternative though is the first one I showed, the America's Parks, because it just adds purple and green. It just adds purple and I think it's yellow. Next I have the Haunted Europe. Now they discontinued this one. I think it's limited edition or something like that. But again, I feel like it has a good majority of those tones too. You gotta think it has the cool tones, then it has the greens, then it has the more neutralish tones to it. So it still has a good majority of those tones in here as well. So I just showed you 3 palettes from the same brand that have similar tones to them. So I'm like, do you really need this, especially from them, since they, you know, kind of already gave you that with America's Parks and with Hudson Valley and with Haunted Europe. So I'm personally not going to be purchasing, like I said, but I wanted you to see why I'm not purchasing, because I just showed you 3 palettes from the same brand that have similar color stories. So it's like, is it really a need? I can just play with America's Parks and leave the purples and the other shades that aren't in the new palette alone, because it even has the same swirly shimmers in it that one has, that they haven't done in a while. So it's like, I don't really need it. Now I'm going to show you some other ones that aren't necessarily from the brand that I feel like give similar vibes. Like, of course, y'all know I had to pull out the Gemini, because as soon as I saw it, I was like, it reminds me of Gemini. So as you can see, Gemini has the greens, it has the dark black, and then it has like the neutral tones, which essentially to me is what that palette is. So if I gave y'all a why you don't need video, I would definitely be using this one, because I mean, it literally shows why you don't need it. It literally has pretty much the exact same color story. So it has a black in it, and from what I remember from the picture I showed you, there is no black. But let me look at it myself, because child, yeah, there's no black in here, but you know, it looks, you know, okay. So that works. Next I have Dark Fantasy. Now some of these just have like pops of green in them with some neutral, so if you were interested, you already had them and you didn't want to buy it, just because of that, I wanted to show these as well. But as you can see, this has more purples and blues to it. But I feel like if you covered up like the bottom, the top is pretty cohesive with it, because remember, it has greens in it and it has these kind of neutral tones, if you will. And that's mainly the part I'm trying to show you. So like when you cover the bottom part, I feel like it just looks like the top part would be a good alternative. So I tried to look at all aspects, like even if it just had half of it as you just saw, I feel like it would be good. Why is this one with it? Oh, if you wanted more greens and less neutral, I pulled the Dirty Martini palette from Glamlight, because as you can see, it has a couple of neutrals, but it mainly focuses on the green of the palette, and it has even a little bit of turquoise, if you will. So if you have this palette and you like more of a monochromatic look and not so many neutral tones, I feel like you might like this one better. So that's why I went ahead and, you know, show this one. Then I brought the Lowest Cosmetics Beauty in the Underworld. Now I know this isn't exact, but I feel like it still has a good majority of the tones because, again, it's kind of like, see, if you cover up the reds in here, it has the same tones as that palette did for the most part. Again, it has the black and it doesn't give as many neutrals for you to choose from, but since it's supposed to be like a two-parter palette, if you cover it up, you still get a lot of the tones that I just showed in that other palette. So just bear that in mind. You can cover up half of one palette and then trick yourself into seeing that like it has a similar color story. The last one I have is Avocado Toast from BH Cosmetics. Again, since it's just a green palette with some neutral tones, I feel like this would be a good one to show as well if you already own this one. If you happen to run across this at Ross or TJ Maxx and Marshalls, you might be able to get this and then not have to buy that one, because I just did a haul video where I found the last pastel palette they had, the Los Angeles one, and I found it for $4 at Ross. So it's like you might be able to find this one at Ross or TJ Maxx and Marshalls for like under $10, and you know it's gonna be cheaper than the Nomad one would. So I just want to give y'all some ideas and show y'all some stuff. I'm trying to debate if I want to do the make this a why you don't need video now that I've shown you all that, and just go ahead and do a look with the Gemini palette, because I'm feeling like I should just go ahead and do it so that way later on I don't have to film one. But you know, I had to wait and see because it's really giving me Gemini vibes. Like with this palette, it's really giving me Gemini vibes. So I think we're gonna go ahead and end up doing a look. I didn't plan on doing it, but I was like, since you know I'm here, you're here, we're all here, you know, just gonna go ahead and do the look. So if you're curious what's my eyes right now, I actually have on the Scooby-Doo collection. So this is the Velma lipstick with the matching lip gloss, and I tried to do all the colors for the girls in the eyeshadow palette, since you know makeup I feel like that would be the makeup that work best with the lips that were given to me in the collection, and the blush as well. Now I don't have on that blush. I have on the new glowy blushes from Dior. I want to see how they wear throughout the day, and I have a new Victoria Beckham contour. So that's what we're working with on the face and the eyes. I'm gonna go off camera, get my light on, and I'm gonna come back and give y'all a look with the Gemini palette. And since this was a pricey palette, and if you already have in your collection, there's no reason to go get a similar close to price point palette and you know buy it when you can use your Gemini. So we're gonna do that real quick and I'll be right back. Okay, girl? Okay y'all, so let's just deal with the fact that I'm in love with graphic eyeliner right now. I just feel like it gives my looks a little extra pop from, you know, the ordinary. So I started off with this shade right here. I mixed this shade with the darker green right here for the outer V for this eye look. This is the shade that's in our inner corner. This is the shade I dusted in the crease, and of course this is the shade that's in the crease as well. So we're gonna start with the shade Cupcake to dust all over it. Y'all know I like to have a nice little smoky moment, and I can definitely get that with melt. No, it's going to give that smoky moment. The thing is, I feel like the product is getting stuck like right in here and it's not blending out further along the eye, which I'm not necessarily crazy about, but it's okay. We just have to dust that in again and again. Get some to the outer V, because it can't just all be up here. I need some of the outer V too. Yeah, it's working. Okay, good. Now, I'm going to take the shade Bonnie. That's the black shade. I dipped into a little bit, and then I dipped into Leo. And that's how I got the interesting shade on the outer V. Because they have really deep, dark, like foresty green. And we know Gemini doesn't have that. So I was like, going improvise. We go make this a dark green. So I dipped into the black and then dipping back into this shade. Sorry, my hair was getting caught on the brush. I'm like, no, we don't have time, but I'm trying to brush my eyelids a little bit. My mom managed to lock herself out the house, so I don't know how. So I'm trying to like get done with this quickly and the other one quickly, because I have two why you don't need videos, or do you really need videos to film. I'm trying to incorporate eye looks into the do you really need videos as well. So that's what this essentially is. Incorporating this eye look into it, and that way I don't have to do it why you don't need video on a separate occasion, like I ended up doing with the Ace Beaute collection that recently came out. It's like I didn't like having to come back and film a second video on the same thing. So I'm like, if I do these why you don't needs now, I'm thinking about just going ahead and like giving y'all eye look with whatever palette I feel like looks closest to save myself from having to wait longer and come back and do a whole nother video, because I think that's the last time I filmed a video on Friday night, or it might have been Saturday, I honestly don't know. But oh crap, I didn't put the crease shade in. So I used the shade Fire OG as the crease shade with this eye look. I mean, I know you can't see it because with the eyeliner on it, but since I did it initially, I wanted to make sure I did it in here as well. It's gonna be hard now because the glitter glue in my crease. And when I was trying to cut it, I just had to turn it at a different angle to make sure that it doesn't stick to it and get stuck on this brush. But I just wanted as deep of a smoky look as I could get. Now let's continue cutting now that I've done that. Yeah, because I'm having a rush to go. Like, let my mom in the house essentially. That's why I'm kind of like, I'm gonna, you know, hurry up, take your little thumbnail moment real quick, and then move on to the last look and give my thoughts. I mean, I don't have too many thoughts to give on these palettes because usually I have a review for just about every palette, although I don't think I have one for Gemini. Don't quote me though. I'm going to take the shade Golds now, which is the green shade, and that's what I put all over the lid, of course, because of course since we're trying to do a mainly, I guess, monochromatic focused green look, if you will, I had to, you know, loving the way this shimmer is looking on the lid. Sunny. Reminds me why I, along with everyone else, loves Gemini. So I'm going to go back in with the shades Bonnie and Leo again that I combine and put them on the outer V, just to make sure that outer V is smoky and the shimmer isn't looking like I did cut it and just left it there. Just whatever. I mean, I know a lot of graphic design is going to distract you from that, but still. If you're not going to use the graphite, I feel like it's important to make sure you airbrush around everything and make sure everything looks nice and neat. So let's get into the last shade, the inner corner shade, and that's the glitter glue brush, which is the shade Gemini, which is the palette it's named after. It has a little bit of chunkiness to the glitters in it, or to the shimmer in it, because it's one of those glittery like type shimmers. And so this is the finished eye look, or without the liner. So to me, this is just why you don't need it, because I feel like I pulled shades from this palette that look like they're similar to this palette right here. Like for example, this lighter shade right here, I feel like if I had mixed like this one and this one, it would be the shade that I put in my crease, or just this shade right here. Then this darker shade, well, either that one or that one I could have used. And then this one I combined the black and the green for the outer V. And then this shade right here, although the green I use is deeper than this one, you know, I feel like it's comparable, because at the end of the day it's just a neutrally toned palette with some pops of green in it. So I feel like this could work for you. And like I said, since you already own Gemini and it's expensive, I figured, you know, why not still keep here and make sure that you see that you don't necessarily need to get that to get a green look. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. I look so weird looking in the viewfinder because you know, I get two different eyes going on. Remember, you all are diamonds, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Be blessed, girl. Bye.